Carlos Alcaraz confirms he will not play Roland Garros due to his wrist injury. Carlos Alcaraz to miss Roland Garros due to a right wrist injury. The world number 2 withdraws from Roland Garros and Rome after tests confirm a right wrist injury, with no return date and the entire clay court season ruled out. Carlos Alcaraz will not defend his title at Roland Garros 2026. The Spanish tennis player has confirmed that he will not compete in the Paris Grand Slam or the Rome Masters 1000 following recent medical tests, which confirmed a right wrist injury he has been carrying since the Barcelona Open. The decision means withdrawing from the entire clay court swing, the surface on which the Spaniard had built much of his recent success, including titles over the past 2 years and 2 Roland Garros crowns. An injury that forces a complete stop. The issue is located in the tendon of the right wrist, with inflammation and cartilage involvement, preventing him from competing normally. The players' team has chosen not to take risks and to prioritize full recovery before returning to competition. Alcaraz himself explained the decision on social media. After the results of the tests carried out today, we have decided that the most prudent thing is to be cautious and not participate in Rome and Roland Garros, while we wait to assess the progress in order to decide when we will return to the court. It is a difficult moment for me, but I am sure we will come back stronger. The tennis player had already hinted at the seriousness of the issue when he appeared wearing a wrist brace at the Laureus Awards Gala, where he was named Best Athlete of the Year. A sporting and ranking blow. Missing Roland Garros and Rome has a direct impact on the ATP rankings. Alcaraz will lose around 3,000 points, which could affect his position in the world rankings and bring rivals such as Jannik Sinner or Alexander Zverev closer. The Spaniard, who had started the season with titles at the Australian Open and Doha, sees his momentum halted at a key point in the calendar. For now, there is no specific return date. The team's goal is to avoid relapses and focus on the wrist's recovery. The world number 2 has explained how his life has changed after parting ways with the coach who had been with him since his early days. After withdrawing from Barcelona, Madrid, and Rome, and with doubts about whether he would make it to Roland Garros, Carlos Alcaraz appeared this Tuesday on the official Mutua Madrid Open podcast. Among other topics, the Spaniard spoke about his current life and routine after parting ways last December with Juan Carlos Ferrero. According to the world number 2, with his new coach Samu Lopez, he has gained more freedom, especially off the court. Now I more or less have a voice and a vote. I can give my opinion, I can decide, I can communicate what I need and when I need to stop and when I need to train, he explained. Additionally, the 7-time Grand Slam winner emphasized that he has reached a higher level of maturity in recent months. I used to have many ups and downs where we had to learn a lot. Before, pressure and nerves got to me. Now I take it much more naturally, with much more calm, enjoying myself on court, he added. After his split with Alcaraz, Juan Carlos Ferrero begins the conquest of China. The Valencian expands his tennis academy with a new Asian base. The international expansion of the J.C. Ferrero Tennis Academy has reached a new chapter in Asia. The project led by Juan Carlos Ferrero has begun operations in Shanghai, where it is already working through agreements with various local clubs while moving forward with the creation of its own academy in the city. Ferrero presented the project in China. The initiative was introduced during Ferrero's visit to the country, reflecting the ambition of the project to replicate in China the comprehensive model the academy develops in Spain. The plan includes building a center with sports facilities, accommodation, and academic education, aiming to provide a complete environment for the sporting and personal development of young tennis players. In this initial phase, several coaches trained at the academy are already working on site, focusing both on player development and the training of local coaches. The structure will gradually expand, strengthening the project's presence in the country and broadening its reach within Chinese tennis. The expansion is backed by the business groups ACT Sport Technologies and Guanyu Sports, strategic partners with experience in the sector and a clear commitment to developing the sport in China. The collaboration extends beyond Shanghai, aiming to promote tennis nationwide through new initiatives. These include creating a tournament structure linked to the academy, as well as organizing clinics and training camps in different cities, reinforcing the spread of the academy's internationally respected methodology. This step forward comes at a time of transition for Ferrero in professional tennis. After ending his coaching relationship with Carlos Alcaraz at the end of 2025, a partnership that marked an era of success and established the Spaniard among the world's elite, the Valencian coach appears to be doubling down on grassroots tennis development. Carlos Alcaraz cast doubt on his participation in Roland Garros. "I'd rather come back a bit later and come back well." After receiving the Laureus Award, the Spaniard prioritized his physical health over defending his title, drawing attention across Paris. The tennis world received a cold shock ahead of Roland Garros. At the Laureus Awards Gala, where he was named the best athlete of 2025, Carlos Alcaraz raised concerns about his physical condition and the real possibility of missing the French Grand Slam. The Spaniard, who last year won the title after an epic 5-hour battle against Jannik Sinner, was clear about his situation. "If I push myself at this Roland Garros, it could really harm me for future tournaments, so we'll see what the tests say, we'll rely on that." Despite the mystique surrounding the Paris tournament for Spanish players, Alcaraz seems to have learned from past injuries that kept him from the top. "I'd rather come back a bit later and come back well than come back earlier and come back badly. You have to take care of yourself because a tennis career can be very long," he said, making it clear he will not risk his body unless he is at 100%. According to the Spaniard, his priority is recovery and returning to competition as soon as possible. "Right now the main thing is to recover, train well, and compete again." With Roland Garros starting on May 18, the situation appears critical. His participation is seriously in doubt. At this point, the chances of him missing the tournament seem greater than seeing him compete on the Paris clay. "The world number one has just said something about Alcaraz that caught my attention, and it's not what you expect." Jannik Sinner attended the prestigious Laureus Awards Gala in Madrid this Monday, an event that brings together the biggest stars in international sport. The Italian, currently world number one, appeared relaxed and approachable despite knowing he was not among the favorites for an award this year. Nonetheless, his presence did not go unnoticed, and he was one of the most sought-after tennis players by the press. The recent Monte Carlo Masters champion took the opportunity to speak to the media, and as expected, one of the main topics was the situation of his great generational rival, Carlos Alcaraz. The Spaniard is going through a difficult moment after getting injured in his debut at the Barcelona Open, raising concerns ahead of the upcoming major tournaments. Alcaraz appeared in Madrid wearing a visible brace on his right hand, highlighting the extent of the issue. He also admitted he could not guarantee his participation in Roland Garros, which begins in about a month and where he is the defending champion. This uncertainty adds even more tension to the clay court season. In this context, Sinner showed his support for his rival, offering words that reflected both respect and sportsmanship. "Carlos is going through a difficult moment right now, so we hope to see him back on court soon, maybe in Rome." The Italian went further, emphasizing the importance of competing against the best. "When you want to win, you want to do it by beating the best players in the world." These statements highlight the healthy rivalry between the two players, who are expected to define an era in world tennis. Beyond competition, Sinner made it clear he hopes to see Alcaraz recover soon, both for the sake of the sport and the challenge of facing him in major events. The Mutua Madrid Open 2026 seems to be under a spell of misfortune. As the organizers were still processing the impact of Carlos Alcaraz's wrist brace and Novak Djokovic's absence, a new chill ran through the courts at the Caja Mágica. Jannik Sinner, the man who has dominated the start of the season with commanding authority, raised alarms after his latest training session on center court. What was supposed to be a routine practice alongside Argentina's Thiago Tirante ended with an image no one wanted to see: the world number one complaining of a sharp pain in his left shoulder. Under the watchful eye of his technical team, led by Simone Vagnozzi and physiotherapist Andrea Sapala, the Italian completed the session, but his signs of discomfort after serving made it clear that the toll of an intense start to the year may be catching up with him.